Hey, you guys, it's Amanda. So, this is going to be kind of a follow up video to yesterday's video. Um, and I've realized something since then, which is that I am in an NIFI loop. Um, so, I'm just kind of looping between introverted intuition and introverted feeling. And I knew that, well, first of all, this can be kind of like a depressing thought, But there's nothing that feels better to me than solving a problem. Or not even solving a problem, but gaining insight about a problem in order to start my way to solving it. And I just thought I'd share this with you because, I don't know, some of you might be into MBTI, probably not. But, anyways, so as an INTJ, I feel like a really healthy INTJ is going to use their extroverted thinking in a way which helps them, carry out plans. And, there's nothing that's more important to me, honestly. Well, there are, but mainly what I want is to affect change and impact the world and, just have goals and achieve those goals. And, I can't get too mad at myself because, and I'm not going to keep using this as an excuse, but it just makes sense. I was on drugs for a very long time. I was dealing with that. So there was going to be no self improvement in that. That's just a huge challenge that I dealt with for years. And since then, I got a base spirituality and I really worked on myself. So it was kind of harder for me to recognize like the NIFI loop because I felt like in the past all I had been doing was really like working on my introverted feeling and working on like just improving myself in that specific arena. And the biggest clues were that I was kind of unmotivated to do a lot of things. I was kind of listless. I couldn't you know, put together a plan. And those to me are like, that's not what an INTJ is. And I'm definitely an INTJ. So it was just a huge recognition that there's some new steps that I need to take. And that can quickly turn into depression because you're not doing what you're kind of wired to do. And that sucks a lot. And so I knew yesterday when I made that video that my TE was unhealthy, but I didn't really give any like insights or advice on how to solve that problem because I made the video before just to kind of get out my feelings on the subject, I hadn't solved the problem yet or gotten any insights about it. So basically, let me start with some things that led up to me getting myself into this loop. So basically, before I was on, somebody like me needs to have like a lot of structure in their life. And I feel like before I switched jobs, I was waking up every day at 4 a.m. And I was, starting the day with taking my dog for a walk. And I worked like regular hours at the vet. So there was that. And then I kind of switched jobs to a night job. So once I did that, I like stopped even setting an alarm. Like I would just wake up whenever. And, that was kind of like the beginning. So changing to that and like kind of being around people that aren't really into what I might be into and just kind of, I don't know, I only have myself to blame, but that was the reasoning behind it. And then also another thing is my boyfriend, a few months ago, he took another job for more money. And once he took that job, they had canned a bunch of people. They had fired a bunch of people from his company, like a bunch of people. And I know that you already have the stress of starting a new job and then, proving yourself to people who don't know you. And then also to have the stress of, oh my God, am I going to get fired too? And so he has been completely like worried and stressed about that and, devoting so much time to work. And, I don't know if you've seen past videos, but we sold our house. And so currently we're living together, but we would see each other every weekend and hang out and go do things and blah, blah, blah. And since I'm an introverted person, I'm really choosy about like who I hang out with. Like when he didn't have the time to do that anymore, like it really affected me. Like there goes my extroverted sensing, like because we would go see movies and go hiking and kind of explore and eat food, and I'm just the type of person who basically eats food for like sustenance and to carry on with life. Like I'm not a foodie or anything. I enjoy it sometimes, but a lot of times I don't, even think to make some great meal for myself or anything like that. So there goes my extroverted sensing. And, my TE was not really built up at all. So those are my extroverted functions kind of like being completely ignored. And so in that way, I was in this NI-FI loop. I hadn't replaced like my extroverted sensing with him with anything of my own. And so I kind of like just stayed in this comfortable place of, getting these intuitions while I was alone and like examining my feelings. And that's all fine and good, but it's time to move on. Like I want to be going in this trajectory. I don't want to be going like this ever. And it was just like I wasn't really picking up on the signals to move on. I was still doing some of the routines that had gotten me to where I was, but I wasn't building upon them. Like I was still meditating every day. I was still taking my dog for a bunch of nature walks every day. I was still, going to work and handling my responsibilities. But as far as like me and what makes me happy and what makes me like shine, which is like, creating and making a plan and having a vision and then taking steps to achieve that vision, not doing that at all. And that was making me depressed because I wasn't doing that. I wasn't even taking any steps to do that. So here's where the solution comes in. So I feel like since it's mainly, TE, to handle that part, step one was to make a list of things that I would like to try, because I don't have a clear vision of exactly what I want to do with my time, exactly what I want to create. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to like sit here and try to figure it out. Like that's not how I'm going to get the answer. Like I need to go out there and try some things and, see, where it might lead me. Who knows? Like I watched the Steve Jobs commencement ceremony for Stanford the other day, and he was talking about how when he dropped out of college, he dropped in on a calligraphy class just because he was interested in it. He didn't have any, plans past that. He was just interested in it. And looking back and connecting the dots backwards, he was able to see that taking that class really affected the way that he put together, the typography for the first Mac. And I just think it's cool because sometimes you don't know the reasoning why you're doing something, but you just feel guided to do it. You're following your curiosity and your interest, and it ends up helping you in the end. It's just another tool in your toolbox. So I made a list of things that I, have always thought about doing, but just haven't done. Instead, stayed in my head and thought about doing it and what it would be like to do it, but I've never done it. So I made the list. Second, to add structure, I feel like I'm going to join a gym because I do take the nature walks and I take a lot a day, but we've been going on like the same old path and like doing this, and if I don't join the gym, I'll end up just creating a more structured exercise routine that doesn't involve the same old thing. So that, and then, I started setting my alarm, again, because that's super important. Like if you wake up like just whenever you want, then you're going to start with that mindset of doing whatever you want all day. And sometimes, that doesn't lead you in any good place. So there's that. And then my plan is so the vision was to do something new every day. But, extroverted thinking comes in and says, that's not really realistic. You don't want to fail, by setting the bar too high. So, I do work 4 days a week and I'm off for 3. So it's possible that I could do at least 2 to 3 new things every week. And it doesn't always have to be out there. I am, mainly introverted. I do want to do things out there, and people are always asking me to hang out. So I do want to like do a couple things with friends. But there are a bunch of things that I could just try on my own, like the origami thing that I said. And make sure to do that 2 to 3 times a week. And I think that doing that and going out and enjoying things will really like touch on my extroverted sensing as well. It's not that like being an introvert, I feel like as an INTJ or whatever your type is, that you should push yourself. And I feel like I should, acknowledge and respect my introverted intuition, but also push myself. It's not that I don't like people, because I do. I really enjoy like hearing, making connections with people and hearing about their lives and, sharing deeper things. I just feel like most of the people that I'm surrounded with, like, I don't like the same things as them. I don't like to have conversations about mutual friends. I don't, like to gossip. I don't like to drink alcohol. I don't like to talk about politics or celebrity news or things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. You like what you like, but it's just not where I'm at now. But the more rational thing would be to say, well, maybe if I got past that a little bit and, contributed more to the conversation, that I could make someone go deeper themselves. And we wouldn't have to talk about that stuff. Or I could invite them to go do something that, actually I want to do, or that they might enjoy doing as well and they've never thought of to do before. Or even if I don't and I go on my own, I could still, make a connection with the people that are out there that are trying to do that one thing that I'm trying to do. And, you can't just expect people to like fall in your lap that are like, that have the same like ideas or like interests as you. You have to actually go find them. Like if they have the same interests as you, likely they're going to be doing those things out there already. So anyways, this is just my little insight into building my extroverted thinking and my extroverted sensing. And I'm like super like excited about just the insight, because I feel like it's just been this problem that's like right on the edge, and like as an introverted intuitive, you're just given these breadcrumbs, and it's like once you like put things together and like and figure out what's going on, and then kind of like make a little plan towards like solving the problem, it's like just the best feeling. So I'm like overly excited right now and just wanting to share this. So anyways, thanks for listening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.